National Electrical Code Article 210.52 Code addresses receptacles in halls, corridors, and hallways. This section of the code dictates the placement of receptacle outlets within these areas of a building. Specifically, it states that in every hallway, corridor, or similar area of a building, at least one receptacle outlet must be installed at each end of the corridor. Furthermore, at least one receptacle outlet must be installed at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. To clarify, this means that the maximum distance between receptacle outlets along the hallway should not exceed 100 feet. Let's analyze a scenario to illustrate the application of this code. Consider a hallway that is 200 feet long. According to NEC Article 210.52 Code, at least one receptacle outlet is required at each end of the hallway. This immediately accounts for two receptacle outlets, one at the beginning and one at the end of the 200-foot span. In addition to the receptacles at each end, the code stipulates that receptacle outlets must be installed at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. This means that beyond the initial two receptacles at the ends, additional receptacles may be necessary to meet the 100-foot interval requirement. In this 200-foot hallway example, the two receptacles placed at each end already satisfy the code's requirement. The distance between them is 200 feet, and since the code allows for a maximum interval of 100 feet, no additional receptacles are needed. Now, let's consider a different scenario, a hallway that is 250 feet long. Again, according to NEC Article 210.52 Code, at least one receptacle outlet is required at each end of the hallway. This accounts for two receptacles. However, the remaining 250-foot length of the hallway needs to be examined to ensure compliance with the 100-foot interval requirement. With receptacles at each end, the remaining distance between them is 250 feet. To meet the code, we need to ensure that no point along the hallway is more than 100 feet from a receptacle outlet. In this case, an additional receptacle outlet must be placed in the middle of the hallway, roughly around the 125-foot mark. This placement ensures that the distance between any two adjacent receptacles does not exceed 100 feet. The intervals would be roughly 125 feet from one end to the middle receptacle, and 125 feet from the middle receptacle to the other end. While technically the maximum distance of 100 feet has been exceeded, it is important to understand that compliance is achieved by ensuring no point in the hallway is more than 100 feet away from a receptacle. Now, let's consider a hallway that is 300 feet long. As before, we start by placing one receptacle outlet at each end of the hallway, fulfilling the initial requirement of NEC Article 210.52 Code. Now we have receptacles at 0 feet and 300 feet. The code requires that the interval between receptacles not exceed 100 feet. Given that the total length is 300 feet, we'll need to calculate how many additional receptacles are needed. In this scenario, we would need to install two additional receptacles. Firstly, we place one at the 100-foot mark, and secondly, we place another at the 200-foot mark. This ensures that no point in a hallway is more than 50 feet from a receptacle outlet, thus satisfying the 100-foot interval requirement. The placement results in receptacles at 0 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet, and 300 feet, meeting the code requirements. It is important to note that the NEC provides minimum requirements. In many practical situations, designers or building owners may choose to install more receptacles than the code mandates. This might be done for convenience, to accommodate anticipated usage patterns, or to provide greater flexibility for occupants. In some cases, specific types of equipment or activities planned for the hallway may necessitate additional receptacles. For example, if cleaning equipment or temporary displays are frequently used in the hallway, additional receptacles may be strategically placed to support these activities. The NEC does not prohibit exceeding the minimum requirements. In fact, providing more receptacles can often be seen as a proactive and user-friendly approach. However, it is crucial to ensure that all installations, regardless of quantity, comply with all other applicable codes and standards, including those related to wiring methods, overcurrent protection, and grounding. When determining the placement of receptacle outlets, It is also important to consider any obstructions or architectural features that may affect accessibility or reusability. For instance, doorways, columns, or built-in furniture can impact the optimal location of receptacles. In such cases, the goal is to find a location that meets the code requirements while also providing convenient access and avoiding potential hazards. Additionally, the type of receptacle outlet to be installed should be carefully selected based on the anticipated usage. Standard duplex receptacles are suitable for general-purpose use, while other types of receptacles, such as ground fault circuit interrupter receptacles, may be required in certain locations or for specific types of equipment. It is crucial to consult all relevant codes and standards to ensure that the correct type of receptacle outlet is selected for each application. The NEC is a comprehensive document, and it is essential to consult the latest edition to ensure compliance with the most up-to-date requirements. Local jurisdictions may also have additional or modified requirements that must be followed. It is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrical contractor or engineer to ensure that all electrical installations meet all applicable codes and standards. This is particularly important for complex or large-scale projects. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in costly rework, delays in project completion, and potential safety hazards. Therefore, it is crucial to prioritize code compliance throughout the design, installation, and inspection phases of any electrical project. Now, let's talk more about NEC Article 210.52 cone. This section falls under Article 210, which covers branch circuits. Branch circuits are the circuits that extend from the final overcurrent device protecting the circuit to the outlets. In this specific case, we're talking about the receptacle outlets within hallways, corridors, and similar areas. It is important to understand the scope of Article 210 to ensure that all requirements related to branch circuits are met, not just those pertaining to receptacle outlets in hallways. Other sections of Article 210 address issues such as the rating of branch circuits, the types of conductors permitted, and the overcurrent protection requirements. These requirements are essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Now, let's discuss the definition of a hallway, corridor, or similar area as it relates to NEC Article 210.52 cone. The NEC does not provide a specific definition for these terms, so it is necessary to rely on common usage and industry practice. Generally, a hallway or corridor is considered to be a passageway that provides access to multiple rooms or areas within a building. This could include hallways in office buildings, apartment buildings, schools, hospitals, and other types of occupancies. The key characteristic is that it serves as a common access route for multiple spaces. Areas that are not considered hallways or corridors would typically include individual rooms, offices, or other enclosed spaces that are not used as a primary passageway. For example, a large open office area would not typically be considered a hallway, even if it contains multiple workstations. Similarly, a storage room or mechanical room would not be considered a hallway, even if it is accessed through a passageway. It is important to use reasonable judgment when determining whether an area is considered a hallway or corridor for the purposes of NEC Article 210.52 cone. If there is any doubt, it is always best to err on the side of caution and install receptacle outlets in accordance with the code requirements. Now, let's delve a little deeper into the practical implications of NEC Article 210.52 cone. The requirement to install receptacle outlets in hallways and corridors is intended to provide convenient access to electrical power for various purposes. This could include powering cleaning equipment, temporary lighting, portable tools, or other types of electrical devices. Without receptacle outlets, it would be necessary to run extension cords from other rooms or areas, which can create tripping hazards and other safety risks. By providing readily accessible receptacle outlets, the NEC helps to promote a safer and more functional environment. In addition to the safety benefits, the requirement for receptacle outlets in hallways and corridors can also enhance the overall usability of the building. It allows occupants to easily plug in devices without having to search for an available outlet or run long extension cords. This can be particularly important in commercial or office buildings where there may be a need to power various types of equipment in the hallway. Now, let's address some common questions or concerns that may arise in relation to NEC Article 210.52 Cone. One common question is whether the receptacle outlets in hallways and corridors must be on a dedicated circuit. The NEC does not specifically require that these receptacles be on a dedicated circuit, but it is often a good practice to do so. A dedicated circuit can help to prevent overloading and ensure that there is sufficient power available for the intended use. Another common question is whether the receptacle outlets in hallways and corridors must be ground fault circuit interrupter protected. The NEC does not always require ground fault circuit interrupter protection for these receptacles, but it may be required in certain situations, such as in wet or damp locations. It is important to consult the applicable codes and standards to determine whether ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required in a specific installation. Another concern that may arise is the placement of receptacle outlets in relation to fire alarm devices or other life safety equipment. The NEC does not specifically address this issue, but it is important to ensure that receptacle outlets do not obstruct or interfere with the operation of fire alarm devices or other life safety equipment. It is also important to ensure that receptacle outlets are not located in areas where they could be easily damaged or vandalized. Now, let's consider some specific examples of how NEC Article 210.52 Cone would apply in different types of buildings. In an office building, the hallways would typically be considered corridors, and receptacle outlets would be required at each end and at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. In an apartment building, the hallways would also be considered corridors, and receptacle outlets would be required at each end and at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. In a school, the hallways would be considered corridors, and receptacle outlets would be required at each end and at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. In a hospital, the hallways would be considered corridors, and receptacle outlets would be required at each end and at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. In a retail store, the aisles would not typically be considered corridors, and receptacle outlets would not be required at each end and at intervals not exceeding 100 feet, unless the aisles serve as a primary passageway between different areas of the store. The key is to determine whether the area in question serves as a common access route for multiple spaces. If it does, then it is likely to be considered a hallway or corridor, and NEC Article 210.52 Cone would apply. Now let's discuss the enforcement of NEC Article 210.52 Cone. The enforcement of the NEC is typically the responsibility of local building departments or other regulatory agencies. These agencies may conduct inspections to ensure that electrical installations comply with the code requirements. If an installation is found to be in violation of the NEC, the building owner or contractor may be required to make corrections. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, delays in project completion, and potential safety hazards. Therefore, it is crucial to prioritize code compliance throughout the design, installation, and inspection phases of any electrical project. To summarize, NEC Article 210.52 Cone requires that at least one receptacle outlet be installed at each end of every hallway, corridor, or similar area of a building, and that at least one receptacle outlet be installed at intervals not exceeding 100 feet. This requirement is intended to provide convenient access to electrical power for various purposes and to promote a safer and more functional environment. It is important to consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes and standards to ensure compliance with all requirements. It is also advisable to consult with a qualified electrical contractor or engineer to ensure that all electrical installations meet all applicable codes and standards. The National Electrical Code is updated regularly, typically every 3 years. These updates may include revisions to existing requirements, the addition of new requirements, or the deletion of outdated requirements. It is essential to stay up to date on the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that all electrical installations comply with the most current standards. The NEC is a consensus-based code, which means that it is developed through a process that involves input from a wide range of stakeholders, including electrical contractors, engineers, manufacturers, and regulatory agencies. This process helps to ensure that the NEC is both technically sound and practical to implement. The NEC is not a law, but it is widely adopted by state and local governments as the basis for their electrical codes. In some jurisdictions, the NEC is adopted verbatim, while in others, it is modified to meet local needs. It is important to be aware of the specific electrical codes that are in effect in the jurisdiction where you are working. The NEC is a comprehensive document that covers a wide range of electrical topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is essential to have a thorough understanding of the NEC in order to design and install safe and reliable electrical systems. The NEC is available for purchase from a variety of sources, including the National Fire Protection Association, which is the organization that develops and publishes the NEC. The NEC is also available online through various subscription services. In addition to the NEC, there are many other codes and standards that may be applicable to electrical installations. These may include state and local building codes, as well as industry standards developed by organizations such as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers and the American National Standards Institute. It is important to be aware of all applicable codes and standards and to ensure that all electrical installations comply with these requirements. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, with new technologies and practices being developed all the time. It is important to stay up to date on the latest developments in the industry in order to provide the best possible service to your clients. There are many ways to stay informed about the electrical industry, including attending trade shows, reading industry publications, and taking continuing education courses. By staying up to date on the latest developments, you can ensure that you are providing the most current and effective solutions for your client. Finally, remember that safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. Always follow safe work practices and use appropriate personal protective equipment. If you are not sure how to do something safely, ask for help from a qualified electrician. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that you and others stay safe while working with electricity. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrical contractor or engineer before undertaking any electrical work.